Corruption Eradication Commission, abbreviated as KPK, is an Indonesian government agency established to prevent and fight corruption in the country. Firly Bahuri, an active police general, is the current chairman of KPK in 2013. The agency won the Ramon Magsaysay Award. Anti-corruption efforts began in Indonesia in the 1950s. Following strong criticism of corruption at the beginning of the New Order regime in the late 1960s, a commission of 4 was appointed by President Suharto in 1970. The report of the commission noted that corruption was rampant, but none of the cases it said were in need of urgent action were followed up. Laws were only passed in 1999 giving the police and prosecution service the authority to investigate corruption cases. Law No. 32,000 on the Corruption Eradication Commission was passed in 2002 providing a legal basis for the establishment of the KPK. Since then, the Commission has engaged in significant work revealing and prosecuting cases of corruption in crucial government bodies reaching as high as the Supreme Court. The KPK vision is to free Indonesia from corruption. Its duties include investigating and prosecuting corruption cases and monitoring the governance of the state. It has the authority to request meetings and reports in the course of its investigations. It can also authorize wiretaps, impose travel bans, request financial information about suspects, freeze financial transactions and request the assistance of other law enforcement agencies. It also has the authority to detain suspects, including well-known figures, and frequently does so. The work of the KPK is a source of continuing controversy in Indonesia. The Commission is careful, but sometimes quite aggressive, in pursuing high-profile cases. For example, in reporting on the activities of the KPK, one foreign observer noted that the Commission has confronted head-on the endemic corruption that remains as a legacy of President Suharto's 32-year-long kleptocracy. Since it started operating in late 2003, the Commission has investigated, prosecuted and achieved a 100% conviction rate in 86 cases of bribery and graft related to government procurements and budgets. To display once more its resolve to crack down on graft suspects, the KPK named on 7 December 2012 both brothers of Indonesian socialite Rizal Malarangeng, Indonesia's sports minister Andi Malarangeng and Fox Indonesia consultant Joel Malarangeng, suspects in a multi-million-dollar corruption case. In the latest scandal to hit the President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono's ruling party ahead of Indonesia's 2014 presidential election. Malarangeng is the first minister to resign on graft allegations since the KPK began operating in 2003. KPK Public Education Division official Budiono Prakoso said in December 2008 that because of its limited manpower and resources, of some 16,200 cases reported to the Corruption Eradication Commission, only a small number had been dealt with. A large number of the solid reports informed the KPK of alleged cases of corruption and misuse of budget funds by government agencies at national and regional levels. Quote, "The main problem is the political will of the government at regional and national levels. Political will remains low. Everything is still at a lip service level," he said. NGO activists often urge the KPK to be more aggressive in its work. For example, Bali Corruption Watch head Putu Wiratadwikra asked the KPK to investigate corruption cases in Bali. He lamented the Commission's practice of handing over corruption cases in Bali to the local prosecutor's office for further investigation. Quote, "The KPK should be directly involved in investigations to create a deterrent effect," Putu said. On the other hand, the success of the KPK in using controversial tools like warrantless wiretaps and its focus on high-level targets like businessmen, bureaucrats, bankers, governors, diplomats, lawmakers, prosecutors, police officials and other previously untouchable members of Indonesian society, has led to something of a backlash. There have been reported attempts to undermine the Commission in Parliament. During its course, KPK often sees a number of controversial efforts by People's Representative Council and other government institutions to weaken or disrupt the work of KPK. Leaders and prominent figures of KPK have been repeatedly arrested for a disputable criminal case or receiving personal attacks. In the view of many Indonesian observers, the gecko vs crocodile dispute illustrated the tensions said to exist between the KPK and the Indonesian National Police. Some high-profile investigations carried out by the KPK have focused on allegations of corruption at senior levels of the police force. This approach is reported to have led to widespread resentment within the police force towards the work of the KPK. Sharp tensions surfaced in early December 2012 when the KPK took the highly controversial step of detaining and